All right, so great program coming in here. A lot of history of great programs, great teams. Um, big challenge for us. Elite. Been recruiting at the elite, high level for a long time. So really good challenge for us to play well, play a lot better than last week. We obviously, have tried to move on from that game. It was disappointing, on a lot of things, and really feel like if we would have played not perfect but just played well, we could have won that game. So it was just kind of a crazy game, crazy. I was thinking today, just crazy trip. Our plane, you know, broke down on Friday, so we ended up staying here, doing meetings here, and got, then went there late Friday night, and it just kind of started into, a lot of bad breaks and a lot of self-inflicted ones as well. So, let's get back on track this week and play a lot cleaner.
Go ahead, David.
Lane, can you tell us what you see specifically out of Bo Nix as a quarterback and the threats he presents?
Yeah, really competitive, very strong arm, can really take off and run with the ball too, which, we haven't done great with that this season. So, very big challenge, and a team that's always, if you don't stop the run, you're going to get 50 carries. It's always, how Gus has been. And they're very physical and downhill and how they run, and better stop them or the day gets long.
Go to Parrish.
Lane, what do you remember about Gus's teams from when you faced them while you were at Alabama? And, do they look the same, or have there been changes?
I think offensively they don't look that much different. I know they got, Chad, different play caller or whatever, but still seem to run a lot of similar stuff. Defensively, Kevin Steele's been around a long time, runs a system very similar to Alabama. And so, seem to always have elite, defensive linemen, front seven players. I know they lost the backer. Glad the guy from last year ain't playing, because watching that film, there's a lot of havoc and not a lot of people blocking him. So glad he's gone. I think I asked, somebody said he went in top 10 or something. So, but they always get great players.
Have your COVID numbers changed from Monday for better or worse?
They have not gotten better or worse, no.
Go ahead, Mark.
You bring up Kevin Steele's defense, and his tendency to be very aggressive with offensive line being inconsistent, as you described it the other day. What's the challenge for matching up again?
Yeah, Kevin's very aggressive. We played him when he was at LSU also, and he was at Alabama when we were there as well. So very aggressive. Once he kind of gets you, keeps coming after you, attacks your protections with a lot of multiple looks, and does a great job. The reason guy makes a lot of money. Like tell our guys, you got to always evolve and change and study things week to week, because this conference doesn't just sit there and play the same defense on you every week. They know what they're doing.
Back to David.
Hey, Lane, since we've got, I guess, 4 games of perspective on this now, I'm just curious what your take is on this all SEC schedule, 10 straight SEC games, no lesser opponents sandwiched in there. I mean, what effect is that having on your team?
Well, I did an interview this morning on that subject, and I don't. Any coach that tells you they like it, I don't know that they're really being honest. I think it doesn't help the development of your team. Having a game or two that hopefully go in your direction, that you can play a lot of players in the second half, and especially for first-year coaches, we got no spring ball. We've never coached these guys, and we got no idea. So, I would not think that this would be something that coaches would want permanently.
Are there certain areas that are kind of manifesting where not having a spring practice is kind of more detrimental than others?
Well, I think defensively, I don't, outside of Arkansas, I guess Mississippi State's doing great too, but I think defensively, you see a lot of big numbers going on, and I think that has to do with spring ball, but especially first-year staffs, I would think, with no background, no teaching and tackling with the guys and stuff, really struggle. But I guess thinking of first-year staffs, Arkansas and Mississippi State sure doing a great job on defense, so not sure.
Parrish, go ahead.
Lane, staying with defense there, what have you saw from your guys in practice this week, and do you expect a performance similar to Arkansas? Do you expect some carryover from that game defensively?
Well, I hope so. I think these guys are a little bigger up front, more physical in the run game, which is a challenge for us. I think our players practiced with a little more confidence after doing some things last week. So hopefully we build on that. But, we're struggling with numbers over there for whatever reason. That's where the injuries, but especially COVID, have hit us, and social tracing.
I know you don't want to get into personnel, but can you give us an idea? I mean, are there a number of offensive people who are on the defensive side now? Would we possibly see people on defense in the game that would surprise us?
We've moved, Mark, Brett, there's two others, that you would know their names that we have moved over there. I think you'll actually see one, if not both of them, Saturday. That's how, bad our numbers are over there. So we've just tried to make the best of a situation none of us have been in. I mean, I guess I kind of had something like this, with the sanctions at USC, with limited roster. So, it's very challenging.
Yep.
And I always think it affects you most when your numbers are low in general. It affects you most on defense because that's where you really, substitute more players throughout a game than offense.
Hey, Lane, I was kind of curious from a big picture standpoint, a little bit, sort of following up on what David asked. In terms of, you didn't have the spring, obviously, which would have been a big evaluation period of your current roster. You didn't have a typical preseason. After having these first 4 games, has it changed maybe the way you view recruiting needs and that kind of thing going into this off season in a few weeks?
Yeah, well, not to be negative, that's another, tough situation we've discussed. We're trying to sign kids here, and it looks like there's a very, very good chance we're never going to see them or meet them, to evaluate them as people, let alone as players. So we're just to do the best that we can in the situation.
Any more questions for Coach? Go ahead, David.
Yeah, Lane, just kind of following up on the recruiting aspect that Neil asked about. How unfair is it? Not only to you guys as coaches, but to these high school kids that have to make a decision. They say it's a 40-year decision. On whether they're going to go to college, and with this possible no penalty transfer thing coming into the picture next year, what kind of chaos might that create?
A lot. Who knows? I don't know, when that is going to be official, is December, are they? I don't even know. So if everybody can transfer, it's really going to be crazy. And if, COVID issues haven't been lifted, so now guys are going to just transfer schools, haven't never gone to see it or meet the staff or anything. So I don't know. It's going to be crazy, especially if the SEC allows it interconference.